Cher Monsieur le Président, chers collègues, chers amis, tout d'abord, je voudrais remercier de cœur le sénateur-maire de Marseille pour cet accueil si chaleureux qu'il nous a réservé. Je voudrais aussi présenter devant vous le cas de mon pays, dans lequel les principes qu'on divise se sont démontrés vraiment des principes salvatrices. Albania have had the most difficult past and heritage. 20 years ago, the country started this path as the most devastated one by its dictatorship, with $204 per capita. It have had not a wide boulevard, a bumpy road, but still a really successful one. And its success is built first and foremost because of the principles that were laid down in its foundation. My country now is a different country. It's a country with $8,000 per capita. It's a country with 12.5% poverty. It's a country with a clear crystal increase in life expectancy. It's a country where the life has changed tremendously. During these 20 years, it happened to prove both socialism and center-right. I will give you a few data about Albania during the socialist rule 97-2005 have had $38 million direct foreign investment. Last year was the only country in the region with the increase of direct foreign investment, $1.097 billion. Albania is a very beautiful country, but it got altogether 2004. 300,000 tourists and visitors. Last year, my country have had 3.5 million. Albania's economy was suffocated by high taxes and informality. Once we put flat tax, 10%, and we dropped so many tariffs, what was the result? 2007, 2006, 2010, we collected around $7 billion more than the previous government. The revenues in 4 years from customs, in 4 years from customs and taxes doubled. We suffered from elections, but 2009 elections were qualified as elections that met most OSCE standards as elections, where there have been no evidences for manipulation or irregular counting. 2011 elections were considered as competitive and fair, although with some technical shortcomings. Albania is working hard in a project, which is the project of this century, EU integration. In all our efforts, we have had a great support, great help by President Martens, President Joseph Daul, sister parties, and we are very grateful. But let me stress a moment. All my political life as a free man, I thought that Europe was done mostly by center-right, but the alternative was also vital to the safety of democracy in this continent. So, myself, I thought that European socialists, as long as they respect rule of law, they stand to protect the vote. After 2009, dear friends, the socialist leader of opposition stood, I do not recognize the result. At the same time, he rallied the Congress, changed the statute, in which was wrote that if the leader loses the elections, he must quit, and put an article, when the leader loses the elections, when the party loses elections, the leader should not quit. This was his problem, not mine. We started dialogue in European Parliament with both groups, with my deep belief that despite the spectrum, the free vote is common to all. Unfortunately, I have to tell you that for some socialists there was not at all the case. And I am grateful to Joseph Daul that in a key moment stood and told the truth what happened. Now, the project of EU integration of Albania is the only project to my country. Opposition, after lost local elections in a very large defeat, accepted exactly what I had offered 2 years long. But 2 years long, the status was blocked because they never accepted to vote any EU reform in the country, in the parliament. They did accept never to vote in the parliament. However, now, thanks to Albanian electors, the life became normal. The lessons were drawn, and I assure you that we remain very committed and stick to the principles that we share together. Mr. President, Albania is a country willing to make some contribution to the Maghrebian region. We have had historical ties with this country. They look, as a multi-religious country as we are, these newly forces that came out after the spring are looking how Islam is compatible with democratic values. In our dialogue with them, we are definitely keen to work. Albania will chair soon the Council of Europe, is working with relevant people in the Council of Europe for a charter in order to to work with these countries with the best hope that the Council of Europe, with its think tanks, could provide a great support to them in the path of democratic development. I am concluding by saluting NATO for extraordinary help that provided to Libyan people. Time has come to all of us to accept that the very basis of international order, the very essence, is human rights. And I'm convinced that without that intervention, that support, we were counting now, not 40 or 50,000 deaths, but probably 300, 400,000 deaths by the clique of Colonel Gaddafi. I hope that Syrian dictator will face the same. His father killed 20,000 his own people years ago. And the new Assad is ready to follow him. That's why these people there needs some help. NATO stands for human rights. It stood in Kosovo. It stood in Libya. And I think this will be a historic contribution to the freedom of Syrians, and not only Syrians. Thank you very much.